Speaking of pitching and hitting, Shohei Ohtani reaches 200 strikeouts for the first time in his career. There's a lot of directions we could go here, D-Rose.
I don't know what to say anymore.
I mean, there's a historical perspective. There's Shohei Ohtani's greatness. There's also the idea of, been discussed, should they consider trading him?
Yeah, let's do that angle. Honestly, where do they go?
Well, I don't think there's any reason to believe he's going to sign back there. I was shocked when he picked Anaheim in the first place. I was shocked he came over and didn't wait another year and get broke off big time. So nothing surprises me with him. I'll just say this. We were, all the guys who play in the big leagues, at least my generation, we were kind of all Shohei Ohtani at 9 and 10 years old.
Right.
And to witness him do this against the greatest players in the world is almost like, I can't put into words. Like, CC Sabathia always says he's the greatest player he's ever seen. I'm going to echo it because he's a #1 starter who hits number 3 in your lineup. It doesn't make sense that he's able to pull it off, to be able to prepare the way he prepares. And if you watch Shohei, it's not every start's the exact same. Sometimes he's beating you with the heater. Sometimes he's got the split working. Sometimes he's got the he's a thinking man's pitcher offensively, and he's an absolute deer on the base paths. He is one of one. I don't think we'll see it. I know a lot of kids are trying to do this. I think he's one of one. I really do.
Yeah, it is so impressive because we know how difficult it is to hit in the big leagues. I mean, it's extremely difficult. And then you will talk to Hall of Fame pitchers like Pedro, like Smolty, and they say, like, it's tough to pitch in the big leagues. How do you do both at this elite level? It's just remarkable. CC Sabathia has said openly that he is the best player he's ever seen. I would say exactly the same thing. And one thing, D-Ro, that's impressive to me is just look at him as an athlete. Right, you see how limber and flexible and powerful he is, how fast he is. You're like, this guy was made perfectly for this. So if you were in there in a lab making the perfect android to play, Major League Baseball and succeed at everything, he is it.
So the answer to your question is they could have moved him at the deadline and gotten what Juan Soto brought back. But if you're going to move him, then you got to start talking to Mike Trout, and then you completely lose the fan base for 5 years.
But what's the alternative? Because they're not going to win, right? Like, what's the alternative to that?
There is no.
There's no minor league
They're
system
in a bad spot, Lauren.
Yeah.
They're in a very
One
bad
thing I'll
spot.
give them credit for, some of their young pitching has stepped up. The Patrick Sandoval's, the Reed Detmers, the Suarez. There has been some glimmer of hope. They've drafted bad.
If we're having the same conversation in 5 years, what's the difference if they lose the fan?
And we have to say this, hey,
we've
Lauren,
been having it for 5 years.
How about the money that they have committed as well? Like, when you look at their payroll, you're like, whoa, how in the world will they even be able to go after Shohei Ohtani?